Hey guys, what is up, Fablers? We've got
What's up,
boosting
Fabulous?
Spendog on the channel. Finally, we got Snapdragon's #1 content man, boosting Spendog, um, ready to kind of break down Oscilio and give you a guide on how to kind of play into the metagame and also how to master the lightning hero that's left after Aurora is LL'd. Today, we're kind of going to be talking through just the hero in general, but we're also specifically going to be looking at this iteration of Martin Holik's list from Calling Copenhagen Top 8. We actually saw quite a few of Martin's games on stream as well, so that's, we're kind of going to be very directly able to see. Spencer, how are you doing? What are you feeling like? Are you excited to kind of break this deck down?
Yeah, I'm super keen to break this deck down. It looks interesting. I don't know why he's got a Fry main board, but I love Oscilio and I love looking at other Oscillionaires lists. So keen to get into it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where might people know you from? Where have you been around? Feel like with some of our members, this is like a bit more of a obscure question, but with you, maybe a bit more obvious where we've seen you from.
So you might have seen me. I've got a big famous YouTube channel because I'm boosting Spendog. I won a Battle Hardened in Taipei. And I've played Oscilio at a fair few events. I played Oscilio at the Pro Tour, and I played Oscilio at my nationals, and I went X2 in Classic Constructed.
So, kind of first question: why play Oscilio over other decks in CC? What are we doing with this deck that's really powerful or exciting?
So, as we all know, Gravy Bones is probably one of the best decks in format, but this deck kind of just like annihilates Gravy Bones and is also just tons of fun to play. So, I think the main reason to play this deck is because into Gravy Bones, you can shock his allies and end his turn just out of nowhere, right? And you just get so much value, you get so much time to set up your big wombo combo, and you have lots of tech. You have such a big sideboard to tech into different matchups, and you can just like win out of nowhere. It's kind of amazing.
So, what would you say like the advantage of playing Oscilio is over other like combo decks like Verdance or Kano? What is this deck doing different to those decks that makes it like kind of just a better deck?
So it's an interesting deck. If you think about Oscilio, it's an aggro deck for sure because it doesn't block, right? Half the cards in the deck don't block. It's very aggressive, but it will actually be favored into fatigue matchups because it can just shit out very high arcane damage and it very aggressively. Like it can just blow Verdance up out of nowhere, whereas Syndra has to really fight through physical damage to actually beat Verdance. And if you were like, let's say we compare this deck to Kano, yeah. So you don't just lose to AB. If your opponent never knows whether to side in AB0 or AB3, and it literally doesn't matter what they sideboard in. If they side in AB3, it's actually good for us because we'll be getting our physical damage through a lot more often, and we'll be able to just get damage in and then guarantee that our kill turn hits harder.
Yeah, with that arcane barrier, we're kind of coming in for those big numbers, that 12, 13, ideally, where it's like it doesn't really matter if
Mm,
you have AB3, you're still gonna take like
exactly.
10. Like, what's the point at that point? Um,
Yeah.
how? Okay, so #1 question: this is a combo deck, right? How do we combo with
Mm.
Vasiliya? What's the actual line? What are the equipment we're using? What are the key cards we're using? What are we actually doing on this big combo turn?
Okay, so on the big combo turn, you need four cards in hand and God and a flush in your arsenal. The four cards in your hands have to be instants and a spell. So it it's a big combo and it uses lightning greaves as well. So Let's click on Lightning Greaves real quick.
Yeah. Let's walk through
Lightning
Lightning Greaves.
Greaves. It says instant, costs 1 resource. Destroy this. Instant cards you play this turn get go again. So it costs you 1 resource, which we're gonna get from our chess piece, Old Knocker, which simply just says instant tap your hero, destroy this, gain a resource. So we never lose any cards from hand.
Mm.
And then every time we play an instant, it gets go again this turn. So if we click on Gone in a Flash,
Yeah.
right? Gone in a Flash says when there's attacks, the next time you play an instant card this chain link, you may return it to your hand. So you can play Gone in a Flash, play some random instant, and then Gone in a Flash will come back to your hand, and you'll have go again. So you've just played 2 lightning cards, and you've got Gone in a Flash to attack with again. So you play Gone in a Flash X amount of times, and what that'll do is it'll have played about like 6, 7, 8 lightning cards, and then we can use Voltsar, which amps X, where X is the amount of lightning cards we've played this turn, onto a big spell like Mind Warp or another spell. I don't know. Mind Warp's just gas. So, and that's like 4 damage times 4 is like 12 plus Mind Warp on the end, which is like just so much damage they can't deal with it, and often it's gonna kill someone, disrupt them really hard, or win us the game completely.
So we're kind of abusing the fact that Gone in a Flash is like a card that just like prints extra copies of damage in our hand essentially. You know, we're kind of hitting the printer button every time we play an instant to make 4 more damage that's coming in.
100%.
Refunding that action point, playing lightning cards to get that Voltar over the top. We've got Null Shock, we've got Consigned to Cosmos Shock, and we've got Mind Warp, all as ways to get over the top. And that kind of pushes that. Oh, and Comet Storm Shock, of course. To kind of push
and Etchings of Arcana.
Oh, and Etchings of Arcana, of course. Do you want to talk us through why this card is particularly good in this deck?
Yeah, sure. So, Etchings of Arcana deals 3 arcane. If it deals more than 3 arcane, we get to bring back a sigil from our graveyard. And sigils are just one of the key things in this deck. It makes your weapon free, and often when sigils leave the battlefield, they do something super gas. So, like, let's get Sigil of Brilliance, right?
Yeah.
When the Sigil of Brilliance leaves, we draw a card. It basically makes Etchings of Arcana a snatch.
Yeah.
Super juice.
Yeah. So we've kind of got all these sigils going on. What's the other card that we're kind of playing, I presume, to support these sigils is Blast to Oblivion. Do you want to talk us about this card a little bit?
Yeah, this card is so good that I almost wanted to play 9, but the blue is kind of just trash. But anyway, this card says when this attacks, the next time you play an instant card this chain link, you may return target or a permanent with cost 1 or less to its owner's hand. So you can play this, play a sigil, and then bounce another sigil back to your hand. So you'll get a card back to your hand, and you'll get a leave trigger. If it's Sigil of Brilliance, we get to draw a card, and then we get the Sigil of Brilliance back. Kind of like busted.
Yeah, so the other sigils in this deck, we've got Sigil of Brilliance, the Oscilio spec, which draws a card and is a lightning card. We've got Sigil of Ether, which amps are arcane. Sigil of Conductivity, which makes embodiment. Sigil of Lightning, which makes an embodiment. And all of these have this ability of not only making our Voltsar free, most of them are lightning cards that are instants for Gone in a Flash, and Blast to Oblivions, but all have that leave trigger to give us some additional value when we play them. I noticed that we talked about 2 of our big equipment pieces, or 3 of them here, Volta, Altknocker, and Lightning Greaves. What do we think about this? What does this card do? Because, you know, at first glance, this card might look kind of innocuous. Like, what is this card doing that's powerful?
So, Flash of Brilliance, when it defends, you can discard a lightning card and return an aura to your hand. So, like 99% of the time, you're going to use this right before your combo turn, and you want to return a Sigil of Brilliance to your hand. So, let's say your hand is like 4 instants, and your arsenal's gone in a flash, and you have a Sigil of Brilliance on the board. You can block with the headpiece, discard some lightning hand that you don't want, just get it out of there, return Sigil of Brilliance to hand, and then you draw another card. So you'll actually end up with 5 cards in hand, which allows you to attack with Gone in a Flash, an extra time, and amp an extra 2 on your Voltsar, which is just free value. Like, why not?
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like traverse the universe in a sense. You know, you're getting those extra cards for your big crazy combo turn.
Widowy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Widowy
When
on a
when do we
common.
when do we play this card? I'm very
Okay.
curious about this. What is this? For those who don't know, this is from the Aurora Armory deck. What are we playing Kappa Quick Thinking into?
So Kappa Quick Thinking is a sideboard card mainly for preventing damage, like flick knives and just like filtering like mad. So you can play it into Kano as a source to prevent damage the whole turn,
Mm.
but it's mainly for Syndra to prevent flick knives, and if you can use this the whole turn. So it says instant destroy it. If you be dealt damage by a source your opponent controls, you can discard an instant, prevent one, and draw a card the whole turn. So you can just like race Syndra by digging through your deck, just dumping cards like no tomorrow, trying to find the Gone in a Flash, and actually set up for the next turn while preventing Mask and saving just ridiculous amounts of health for no reason.
Yeah, that all makes
Yeah.
tons of sense. Yeah, that's a good sideboard option. Um, and then for our last equipment piece, what are we doing with Ether Bindings of the Third Age? When are we playing this card? What are we doing with it?
So this is in like 99% of matchups. I'm pretty sure this is the only one in the deck. This lets you amp every single time an aura permanent leaves the battlefield. So if you have Blast to Oblivion and you're bouncing sigils, you're getting free amp. If at
Mm.
the start of your turn you have like 4 sigils on the board and you have a Mind Warp in hand, you just crack this and then send the Mind Warp for like 6 arcane, and
Mm.
it can give you like just tons of value at the start of a turn or like on your combo turn. If you have a Blast to Oblivion on your combo turn, that's like the nuts because you're amping, you're bouncing sigils, you might be drawing even more cards, and it's just can get out of hand.
When do we? What's kind of your number? Do you always want to just save this for the combo turn when you've got like 1 to 2 sigils out? When do you want to crack this personally? What's your heuristic for like when you want to crack this?
So this is mostly Iron Rock Gauntlets until the end game
Mm.
when I have my Gone in a Flash turn, and let's say like half the cards in my hand were instants, or sorry, half the cards in my hand were like sigils. At the start of my turn, I will have had like 3 sigils from my combo turn. So it
Mm.
gives me an extra boost after my combo turn. So if I play 3 sigils, then I get 3 free amp the next turn on my spell, and hopefully that can just like clean someone off.
Yeah, yeah. So we're kind of saving this to get, 2 to 3 sigils value out of it, plus whatever we can do on our turn with Blast to Oblivion. Um,
Yeah.
let's kind of take a step back for a minute and talk about Oscilio himself. Um, when this hero ability, it looks very innocuous. It's once per turn, not just your turn, notably, also your opponent's turn. Discard an instant, draw a card. How do you want to be using this hero ability? When do you want to be using it?
So it's a very interesting hero ability for sure. I would, I'm gonna say that most of the hero ability is actually just the weapon,
Mm.
but this hero ability helps us like refine our combo turn and find it faster. So it every single hand you look at, you can look at it and say, okay, what instant in this hand is doing nothing, and just filter it
Mm.
and just get rid of like, let's say you got 2 spells in hand, something that pumps physical damage, and then some random instant. You can just discard the physical damage pump and then find something else that might help. Maybe a blocking card, just to get value out of your hands and find Gone in a Flash faster.
Mm. So we're kind of using it to get to those big combo turns as fast as possible. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked a little bit about Volta and how it's kind of the powerhouse of the deck. I guess my question is,
Mm.
with the timing, how do you actually want to like, when do you want to activate this card? Like, let's say we're going for a combo turn. When is the step that you want to activate this card to get the maximum value?
So you can have a few different combo turns. Most combo turns will either end on like Etchings of Arcana, which is an actual card you play, or you can end on a shock. Um, you can the most of the time you just activate it in response to you playing the spell,
Mm.
so you always get max value. Let's say you play a shock, right? A zero cost shock.
Yeah.
Uh, it's interesting because shock itself is a lightning card. So if you activate Voltsar and
Mm.
then you play shock, um, you won't get the extra buff from playing the shock itself because it is lightning. So you
Mm.
should always play the shock first and then activate Voltsar to get full advantage out of it. And as late as possible because you
Mm.
want to play as many lightning cards, obviously, to get it as high as possible.
Yeah. So we're kind of
Yeah.
activating it at the last possible time, but we're also watching out to kind of activate it on that shock ability if we can to get the extra +1 amp on that spell. Um,
Yeah.
my question is, we've talked a little bit about the fact that this deck clearly does not block well. We're kind of looking through the
Mm.
list. I think the average block value is somewhere between 0 and 2. Um,
Mm.
when do we block our cards? When are we diverting from our normal game plan of just keep every hand and go from there?
So the main thing to understand about this deck is
Mm.
that almost all of your turns before the combo turn are going to be below rate.
Mm.
It's very rare that you have a hand that is on rate, so you just got to accept that your hands mostly doo doo until
Mm.
your combo turn. So when we decide to block, it's gonna be we're trying to block an on hit. Otherwise, we just want to send the card and try to get the value out of it. Um, Thankfully, we have a few more block cards, so it's actually we can kind of block just to get value and just wait until we see our power cards. Yeah, we've got sinks, we've got shelters. Usually, we
Mm.
don't run those main board unless we have to,
Oh, this is
but
just like my hazard guess of what a main deck roughly looks like. It's not. I don't think it's accurate to what Martin was probably playing all weekend, but um,
yeah, yeah, it's
yeah,
close enough.
yeah. So very easy. So actually, let's kind of talk about the sideboard for a second. And
Sure.
kind of what cards you think are like, which cards do you think are sideboard? Which cards do you think are always in? Like, if you just want to like highlight
Uh,
out anything that's kind of left in this main deck, I've kind of selected that you think would get boarded out in some matchups. All right, so we kind of tidied up the deck and the sideboard so that we can hazard a guess at what Martin was doing based on what Spencer knows about the deck.
yeah,
What do you want to talk us through the sideboard? What these cards are kind of for? Let's kind of just go in order.
yeah.
What do we think about Burn Bear?
So Burn Bear is it's killing two birds with one stone. It's hitting Prism, which
Mm.
is awesome source, but it's also our big arcane spell into fatigue.
Mm.
So with Burn Bear, let's say we're playing into Jarl or Verdance, we want to be trying to send this after a few attacks to try and get in for like 8, 9, even 10 arcane damage just to like
Mm.
push through and really deal damage through their blocks. Which just like this is like one of the cards that makes the deck just great into fatigue.
So we're kind of, even though we're a low blue count deck, we're kind of taking advantage of the fact that we can just push this over to a big number, make it so our opponent can
Yeah.
AB it out and get through that fatigue. Battlefront Bastion.
This is a popper, mostly for Prism. You can also play it into Slippy or Mario because it'll prevent Flick Knives.
Mm.
And you can also play it into Syndra. I don't really want to bring it into Syndra because it blocks two, and it just doesn't work with the combo because you'll have D-reacts and stuff.
Mm.
But mostly Prism, Mario, Slippy.
Yeah. Eclectic Magnetism. What was this guy kind of doing?
This card is it's kind of like a glue piece.
Mm.
It's in like almost every matchup.
Yeah.
There's sometimes you don't want to bring it in. Um, Usually when you're racing,
Mm.
this lets you play your spells at instant speed. So you can go lightning card, eclectic magnetism, and then send a spell. It's essentially like a free go again if you think about it, but only
Mm.
for non-attack actions, which are going to be your eclectics, mind warps.
Yeah, and that etchings of
Yeah,
Arcana we talked about earlier.
I meant I meant etchings. Yeah, I said
Yeah,
eclectics. Lol.
yeah. Red Fry.
All right, so this is a non-block. So if you ever need to block, you just never bring this in. This is just a go against source. It's a free amp on Voltsar. You usually play it into fatigue where you can't use your whole hand and you just want to go wide. Get the free amp into your Burn Bear and also good into Gravy Bones. Just kills an ally for free.
Mm.
Easy.
Yeah. Lightning Press, one of my favorite cards of all time.
Oh, well-known Lexi player loves Lightning Press.
Mm.
Of course, bro. Um, this can be used as a popper.
Mm.
Don't forget to always pop in the reaction step to bait out their reactions.
Mm.
And it's also good into matches where you just want to try to deal damage, push damage, make things hit, and it's usually in the list. Um, and it's gas.
Yeah. Um, Shelter from the Storm, and I'm going to extend this and kind of package this with Sync Below because I imagine they're coming in
Yeah,
similar matchups.
yeah, well done. Yeah, Shelter from the Storm, $100 card because it prevents flicks.
Mm.
Very gas, and it's a D-React. Good into Syndra, good into Mario, Slippy,
Mm.
Prism. Good for decks where you really need to block and prevent like flick damage, essentially.
Mm.
Same with Sync Below. It blocks for 4. There you go.
Yeah, and then it kind of lets you. It's like the Oscilio Hero ability, right? It lets you go another card deeper to go find the combo turn with Gone in a Flash.
Yeah, it serves like a dual purpose. Like
Mm.
it'll sync you a card, and blocking 4 allows you to live longer to see the gun in a flash, which
Yeah,
is the whole idea of blocking to see your combo pieces.
yeah. Null Shock, and I must admit, I don't think I actually know what the left hand card of this, like left hand side of this card does.
So this is like always brought in for the shock half. You don't want to play null ever. The only time null is relevant is in the Oscilio mirror, which is like
Mm.
for like if they play Silver, you're like nope and stuff like that.
Mm.
Very you never play null. Let's just get out of the way. Never play null. Read it once and
Yeah.
then get it out of the way. It's a shock, which is great for longer games where you need the extra damage to just kind of like kill them when they're on 3 on their turn.
Mm.
And it also comes in into gravy where you need more shocks to kill his allies to end his turn faster.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
this is a really interesting card that I wasn't expecting Martin to play. What is Rewind doing in here?
It's rewind time, baby.
Shit.
Um, so it's a little throwback for you.
Yeah.
This is Kano Tech
Mm.
and a little bit of Brute Tech. So into Kano, you can rewind their Aether Wildfire. If they
Mm.
played it off Storm Striders, they just like lose the game because they can't put it on top.
Yeah.
And if they played it off top, it's just like it just ruins Kano. It's an auto win if you play this on the Aether Wildfire, essentially.
Mm.
And also into Brutes, you can rewind their Blood Rush Bellows. And since they discarded a card as an additional cost, they have to play it again and they just discard another card. It's not the greatest. If you can play it off Tunic into a Brute, then I'd say it's kind of decent, but most of the time, it's literally just Kano Tech.
Yeah, I will say Martin's not playing Tunic in his list, which I thought was an interesting, not inclusion, what's the opposite of an inclusion? Um,
Exclusion.
Exclusion, an interesting exclusion from the list. Why do you think in this meta Martin might not have played Tunic into this metagame?
I think it's because he is a little bit too scared of Prism and then put in Battlefront Bastions.
Mm.
I would just keep Tunic in. It's so good into fatigue. It's so good into longer matchups where you need it, like Gravy. Like, I think he might have made a meta call where he thought the meta might be too fast,
Mm.
but always having the resource for your combo turn when you need it is always nice. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, we're our chess piece at the moment in every matchup with Martin's list is essentially
it's
always have the
it's
resource,
like
right? That's the trick. But Tunic has
that's
happened
the thing.
multiple times.
Yeah, you can't get irresponsible with Tunic and like pop it, and then if you need it and you don't
Mm.
have the Tunic resource, you're kind of cooked.
Yeah,
But I would put Tunic in the list if I was Martin. But
yeah. We
this
we
is this is what he did.
we saw in a couple of Martin's top eight game on stream as well. He popped his old knocker, he went for his big turn, but then he just like couldn't get that last 10 damage through, and it just ended the game
Mm,
for him. So I guess
mm.
Tuna kind of helps with that and kind of lets you keep going past that point. Um,
Yeah,
and then two cards left. Two copies of Snag. I think I know what this guy's for.
this guy is for when Volder decides to pummel you. But mostly is for assassins because assassins like are very spooky. Um, I feel like that's like literally it. Just stops assassins. It's an instant, so you can cycle it if you don't need it on that turn,
Mm.
and it's a blue, so it's like fits all our bases perfectly.
Yeah, and of course shuts down Bonds of Agony, which is, scary. I can imagine the line right now
Yeah,
of block one with Lightning Greaves. Your opponent plays four reactions, cracks their flick knives, their black decks, they do everything, and then you just snag them, and then you get to play your whole hand. You don't lose any cards from deck. That sounds pretty good. And then one
yeah.
notable, the last equipment piece, the actual one that we forgot about earlier, Shock Charmers. What is this card for?
I love this. I love this card. So it's for the Oscilio mirror because so it's for the Oscilio mirror because it can spell void too, which means if they try to send a cheeky mind warp and it's
Mm.
only like 4 arcane, you can just spell void it and you don't need to worry about it. And it lets you filter cards through shock charmers to find your combo faster
Mm.
and just deal free damage. And it's a sync turn zero just to sync your entire hand away.
Yeah.
It's also extra life into Verdance because Verdance's kill range is like 9 because it's Burn Bear plus Waning Moon.
Mm.
But with this, she has to deal 11 damage because you got the 2 more life.
Yeah.
And obviously stick this into Kano, just raw dogs Kano. You just take just this deck just beats Kano if you can
Yeah.
find the rewind.
When okay, so we've kind of covered the deck, we've broken it down. Let's kind of talk about some of the big metagame decks. What are we thinking about into what are we doing into Gravy Bones? What's the game plan? Are we just kind of what are we doing? Are we just digging through the combo turn? Is it the normal game plan? Is there anything we would do differently into Gravy Bones?
Yeah, so Gravy Bones is pretty good. It's pretty favored. It's like
Mm.
you can't really lose it unless they high roll you a little. You want to stick Gone in a Flash in your arsenal, but they will send Conqueror of the High Seas at you a few
Mm.
times, and you will have to block it. Um, but that's chill. You just block it. If they blow you out, you just wait for the next Gone in a Flash,
Mm.
and then in the meantime, you want to be attacking their face and clearing their allies. If you can clear an ally on their turn and end their turn and get
Mm.
a lot of value out of it, you just do that. Uh, Otherwise, it's cool just to clear it on your turn. It doesn't cost you a lot to get rid of their allies,
Yeah.
and you do lots of damage. You're an aggro deck, so
Yeah.
you get them low,
So we're
combo them.
we're kind of killing those allies while getting a little bit of chip damage in before our combo, and then we're just gonna
Yeah,
just gonna blow them up at the end because we got enough time to kind of find our Gonana flashes and combo them.
so
Uh,
much time.
yeah. How's our Slippy matchup? What are we doing? I noticed in round 12 of Australian Nationals, I looked over and I thought Matthew Angove on Slippy was playing Damian Moss. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, that's so bad for Matthew. D Moss is like just gonna murder him. And then I go over afterwards and I was like, oh, who won? And then Matt's like, oh yeah, I just got there. And I'm like, huh? I was like, what are we doing into Slippy? Like, how are we beating that deck, you know?
Yeah, so it's actually not the worst matchup in the world, and I couldn't tell you why. But I feel like there's a big misconception about the deck that the deck doesn't block.
Mm,
But if you look at half the cards, they actually do block, and we've got instants that we can play out. We've got somersaults to help us bounce blocking cards back to our hands. We've got sigils.
mm,
We can just like dump our hand at instant speed, and nothing really matters. And then their value is pretty consistent. So
mm,
when we do find the combo, we can, if they don't present disruption, we can just like annihilate them. They don't have much armor block. And
mm.
if we don't kill them, we just kill them on their turn, really.
Yeah.
And along the way, we have, if we look at the sideboard, we've got the D reacts, right? We
Mm,
run 5 D reacts, 2 snags.
yeah.
It's pretty easy going.
When so into Assassin we're just getting there based on the fact that our combo turn is just enough to like get them, and we're just
Mm,
playing good hand to hand value and kind of setting up to get around the disruption. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I
Um,
would say we
mm,
can get there just by playing value, but the combo just like seals the
yeah.
deal.
What's kind of our Prism matchup like? I know you talked about like how you looked at the list and you thought, maybe Martin's worried about Prism.
Mm. It's interesting. Running the 6 poppers will probably seal the deal for us, make
Mm,
it really favored. The good thing is we have shocks, so it's hard for us to block, but if we do let something hit, we can shock them, and they have to Arcane Barrier on their turn to
mm,
prevent their allies from dying. So yeah, just Consign to Cosmos Shock is like perfect, because you can play it Voltsar for free, hopefully. And they have to stop 2 Arcane, otherwise
mm.
their turn just ends.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
we've got 7 poppers sort of in the list. We've got Burn Bears and Battlefront Bastions, which are obviously really good.
yeah,
But then we've also got Lightning Press as like a 2 card pseudo popper sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah. Are you what's your stance on boarding in the D reacts into Prism? I know some people are a fan of it, some people aren't. What's kind of your
Mm.
opinion on the matter?
Uh, so I would, if I had 5 poppers in the list, I would put all the poppers in first, and then any extra space, I'd put the D-Reacts in. I
Mm,
would run D-Reacts because they help block the 7 power heralds, which are
mm,
like real annoying. Those breakpoints, grrr.
yeah.
Um, but most of the time, it's kind of hard to block.
Mm,
But that being said, the D-Reacts really just help like stop the on hits. If they hit on the second one, it's kind of okay because they don't get to swing with the angel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of, one more matchup that I think is really relevant that we can kind of talk about. We talked a little bit about the Verdance matchup. How are you feeling about the matchup? I've seen you have like 6 different takes on whether the matchup's good or bad in the last few months. Where are you kind of landing with now with kind of how Verdance is going?
So there's this one local player, and I say he's pretty good at Verdance, and I
Mm,
6-0'd him. Um, but that was because my deck was not sideboarded.
yeah.
So usually it's pretty good because it's fatigue. If
Mm,
you bring in the Burn Bears to do the Tall Arcane and force it through, that's really good. And if you can, fuck, let's just like let me restart the Verdance sections.
yeah. All good.
Okay, so our Verdance matchup, I would say, is pretty good. You have to worry about their disruption, specifically on the Arsenal. If they
Mm,
have Plow Under, that's scary because we can't interact with that.
Mm.
And if they have CNC, that's scary because we kind of suck at blocking. But we block not too bad. Those are the
Mm.
only ones to worry about while Garner Flash is in our arsenal. If they don't do that, we have a pretty solid chance of getting there. We play Burn Bears to get them low, and then
Mm.
hopefully our Garner Flash turn should just get there.
Yeah.
It's very hard for them to also kill us because of our shock charmers, giving us that extra life. And you
Mm.
can even play the Hood of Second Thoughts to prevent even more damage. But I think running the other headpiece is good
Do you mean
because
Kappa
you
quick
want the
thinking?
block into CNCs. Yeah,
Yeah.
cap quick thinking.
Yeah, yeah. You said Hodo
I
second
think.
thoughts. I was like, oh my god, Spencer cosplay moment. That's so based.
Oh! It's just ingrained in my brain, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the normal hat is perfectly fine for setting up a big turn because you
Mm.
want a big turn to push through their defenses.
Yeah, that all makes sense. Yeah. I guess kind of the big note. I guess my question is, when you sit down, what's the number one deck you want to be sitting down against, and what's the number one deck you don't want to be sitting down against? What's the deck that creates like the happiest reaction when you sit down against it? What's the one that makes you go, oh no, I guess I'm getting lunch. Like, yeah.
So my favorite matchups are definitely Gravy Bones
Mm.
and Fang because we just like race Fang. I know Fang's very prevalent now, and also probably Jarl or Verdance.
Mm.
Those are very cool. Decks that we don't want to see are like Syndra
Mm.
because Syndra is very fast and presents on hits. So we have to block them out and dig for our combo. And then when we do our combo turn, we have to not die by saying no blocks the whole turn.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even get to combo. Sometimes we have to do like a 2 card, 3 card combo because we
Mm.
use the other 2 cards to block. And we just have to like pray that we can zap them on their turn for a bunch of damage to actually get there. It's pretty bad. Also,
Mm.
Prism's not the greatest unless you're teched for it, in which you get some points into it.
Yeah, like Martin was. I guess
Mm,
with this list specifically, we already talked about the
mm.
absence of Tunic. I don't know if you've caught Martin's games from the weekend, but what was what is there anything else in the list that you kind of like look at and you go, that's interesting. That's like different to something that we normally do.
Honestly, it's a very standard list. I'm
Mm.
shocked that there's no tunic in it. Everything looks real nice. If you scroll down a little bit, he's got Sigil of Ether, which is a very new inclusion in the list. I wouldn't
Mm.
run this card. Doesn't seem the greatest, but when it leaves, it amps one if it connects. Or it deals one arcane. If it connects, it amps one. So this
Mm.
kind of is really good at clearing allies,
Yeah.
which I think is why it's
Oh,
in
it's
the
not even
list.
target. Yeah.
Yeah, shit's crazy. You can also target yourself,
Mm.
and this kind of has a really weird interaction with the gloves where when this leaves, you can choose to amp its self damage or amp the next thing. It's because it's like they're both on leave triggers. Kind of weird.
Oh.
You can like stack it up to 2 or 3
Mm.
if you have like 2 on the board, and then you can hit like a Sawbones and kill it, or a Swabby.
So Aether
It's
Bindings is like I thought Aether Bindings was all one trigger. It was like you crack it, it like you do it at the start of turn, and then the next time that you play an arcane spell, the whole thing triggers. I didn't realize it's like multiple triggers throughout the turn.
no. So if you have 3 sigils leave,
Mm.
it's amping 3, and then you send an arcane spell. And you might have some more sigils leave, and then you can send another arcane spell, which is
Yeah.
amped more.
So it's like amp one. So like when you have three sigils leave at the start of your combo turn, for example, you're actually like
Yeah,
amping one, amping one, and you can do stuff in between those and kind of stack those triggers to
yeah,
get good value.
yeah,
That's so
100%.
interesting. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
It's pretty sick.
Um, is there like specific generics that makes it harder for this deck to win? Like what are the cards? If I'm sitting down, if I'm a Kasai player, for example,
Oh no.
what are the generics that I'm like I'm like,
Bro,
what should
bro
I be putting in
wants
my deck to beat the Oscilio deck?
bro wants me to call out Amulet of Echoes right now. Oh my god, bro. There's two cards that are the bane of my existence. It's Amulet of Echoes
Mm,
and Null Time Zone. Null Time Zones, like no one plays Dio. Dio's a trash deck, and hopefully it gets support. Oh my god. But if you what does Amulet of Echoes do? It's like if you've played
yeah,
the
hang
same
on.
card, if you played a card with the same name twice on your turn, you have to discard two cards.
Yeah,
Let's pull it up for the fans.
let's
This
pull up.
if they play this card,
Mm,
you're done.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this
All right,
is
I'll
like,
read it.
yeah.
Or do you want to read it?
Okay. Zero cost blue, generic action item, go again, instant, so you can activate this at any time. Destroy Amulet of Echoes. Target hero discards two cards. Pretty great. Activate this ability only if they have played two or more cards with the same name this turn. Less great, but
Yeah.
still very strong for this
Less
deck
great.
specifically. I presume,
This is
obviously, because you're gonna play Gone in a Flash a few times, and then they're gonna crack it at the end, make you discard the Gone in a Flash, and your spell. I presume, like if it's like Etchings of Arcana and you can't play it at instant speed, you just lose all your Arcane for the turn, and you lose the Gone in a Flash. And obviously, if it's your combo turn, you've lost your Lightning Greaves, your Old Knocker, maybe your Ether Bindings as well, maybe your Flash of Brilliance, and then you're just naked and afraid. And that's not a good place to be in Flash and Blood.
100%. You're gonna play Gone and Flash twice, and then you're gonna lose your whole combo turn.
Yeah.
But there are ways to play around it. The first way is to have a little turn where you play the same card twice, and then hopefully they're really scared because you have a few extra cards in your hand, and then they just crack it, and then your combo turn is A-okay.
Yeah.
And then the second thing you can do is have a variety combo turn. So you can play Gone in a Flash, and then you play an instant, and then you play a Blast to Oblivion, play another instant, maybe then throw a Flittering Charge, and then throw a spell, and then keep the Gone in a Flash in your arsenal. Or if you've got another instant, you just play the instant, and then Gone in a Flash. Etching really helps, because if you get the instant from your graveyard, you can play the instant out and then play the Gone in a Flash with no cards in hand, and you've still done arcane damage, had a big turn, you know.
Yeah, so because obviously they have to invest a full card on a turn cycle to get this out, unless they like free roll a turn zero, or knick-knack bric-a-brac for it. But so obviously if you just like make it so they get like the smallest amount of value out instead of totally screwing your combo turn, that's like the best way to go.
Exactly.
One other card I wanted to bring up and kind of discuss with you is a new card. I was curious to hear your thoughts about Light Up the Leaves.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. How do you think this will kind of change the Verdance matchup?
So, they essentially just get 3 more Burn Bears.
Yeah.
If anything, I would say the matchup gets better. Because if you send Gone in a Flash a bunch of times, and then they use Light Up the Leaves to prevent your arcane damage at the end, it's like they're still 2-card blocking 6, and it's like whatever, you were gonna block with your whole hand anyway.
Yeah.
So if anything, they can burn us faster, but it's also like if they're hitting us with this, we're fine because we don't get threatened with a CNC or disruption, and we're just bringing the game to a conclusion faster, which is what we want. So this is actually like chill. And they're running Plume into every matchup now, so they have no block on their head, which is even better for us.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, unlike Kano, which is like the other combo wizard, you don't get hated out by this card. You kind of don't really care about this card. Like, it's just kind of, it's a 2-card 6, you know, it's another day at the office. Like,
yeah, right? Exactly, bro. Another day at the office, bro.
Yeah.
Excuse it.
I think that like wraps up a pretty good breakdown, honestly, of the entire deck. I think we've talked about just about every card in the list, if I had to guess. I think We maybe haven't touched on a couple of the obvious cards like Blink and Current Funnel and
Mm.
Channel Lightning
Mm.
Valley, but I think we all understand what's going on there.
Yeah.
Leave a comment below if
I
there's any
can.
more questions you would like us to kind of answer. Um,
Mm.
where can we see you next? What events can we kind of see you at for the rest of the year? I know that you know, as a fellow Melburnian, you're kind of a little event locked, but what's your kind of plans coming up?
So I plan to go to Colin, Sydney. If you're going
Mm.
to Colin, Sydney, come say hi. Um, I might go to Yokohama because that's where the next Pro Tour is, I think, after Philly. I'm not going to come to Philly because financial reasons.
Mm.
And also, it's in America.
Yeah, I think that breaks everything down. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out? Is there any locals that you have helped you with the deck? Is there anybody that like you want to shout out on your Oscilio journey? Is there any like is there a channel in particular you'd like to shout out now?
Not really.
just,
No, just
just kidding
joking.
me.
I'm just joking. I just wanted to see all the Oscilio players' hearts drop like, oh my god,
Yeah.
no shout out. Obviously, Evan, Evan the Wizard Goat, he's a local. Also shout out the Oscillionaires Club
Mm.
and Yuto.
Mm.
He kind of made like the foundation of what Oscillio should be, I feel like. And he's got a great Discord for chatting, and also Brendan Allen because he's max rating the deck. Shout out that guy.
Yeah.
Is he still doing that?
He's still doing that apparently. Apparently he was buying like foil null shocks earlier. Well, this has been quite a good deep dive into Oscilio and kind of the whole thing. We've tried to give it a bit more character, a bit more boosting Spendog flavor than our usual videos. But let us
Yeah.
know what you think in the comments. I think
Yeah.
we've had a good time talking about the deck, and we kind of broke down a lot of things for people who might not have heard of the deck before this last weekend. Obviously, you know, it's not the most widely played deck, so obviously getting good information is obviously really important and very exciting. Thanks for coming on the channel. I'm sure we will see you back again, and we will of course see you at your own channel, Boosting Spendog. Some of the best like edited videos on YouTube, in my opinion. And if you like Spencer's goofy humor, yeah, it's that's where to go if you want to see this man do more cool things. Thanks for having me on the channel.
Yeah.
I hope you've had a good time.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And
With that one.
yeah. Leave comments. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I will respond to it.
Yeah.
I will respond to it.
Oh, and of course,
Okay.
please, if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. Feel free to subscribe. We're trying to kind of hit our metrics and get wider known in the community so that we can make even greater content and kind of make better videos. But yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. This has been another Snapdragons video. Hope you guys had a good time.